remind you that the very franchise recognized the authority of Congress to amend, alter, or repeal the grant if the public interest so requires, and this hearing is being conducted to accord the grantee the opportunity to address the call for the revocation of the franchise. Mr. Chair, during the last hearing, we deliberated, we discussed on the possible violations of Suara Sub on their franchise, Republic Act 11422, especially on Sections 4, responsibility to the public, Section 10, sale, lease, transfer, grant of use of right or assignment of franchise, Section 11, dispersal of ownership, and Section 12, reportorial requirement. Now, in this hearing, let me expound, Mr. Chair, on Section 4. Because, as I see it, Mr. Chair, it seems that SMNI has a pattern of harassing individuals and entities using false informations. I sincerely believe that SMNI is being used as a tool to spread false information with regards to attacking, maligning, destroying the reputation of certain individuals and entities. Kaya nga, Mr. Chair, in this hearing, I would like to establish, or rather hopefully establish, itong pattern ng sex, or rather serial harasser. Mr. Chair, upon research for the past few days, we have found out that SMNI, or Suara Sub for that matter, is facing several cases, not only in the courts, but in KBP, MTRCB, NTC, and other bodies. I have in my possession some of the cases, Mr. Chair. One, Concepcion, Empeño, Linda Catapan, and Cristina Palabay versus Suara Sub Media Corporation. Docket number case number 2022-027. It was filed at the National Telecommunication Commission on June 2022. The complaint arises from an SMNI broadcast featuring an interview with Palparan conducted by Lorraine Badoy. In this interview, allegations were made associating Vice President Robredo, suggesting an alliance with CPP-NPA-NDF. The broadcast specifically referred to the Bicol region as being infested with such affiliations. Number 2 case, Alfonso Tomas Atom Pagaduan Arroyo versus Jeffrey K. Eric Celes and Lorraine Marie Badoy Partosa. Docket number R-QZN-23-08237-CV. It was filed at the RTC Quezon City Branch 306 on September 11, 2023. The episodes mentioned in SMI accused Arroyo of being a member of the CPP-NPA-NDF, producing documentaries and participating in activities detrimental to government efforts. Case number 3. This was filed in the Professional Regulation Commission on April 11, 2022. Bonifacio Carmona versus Lorraine Marie Badoy Partosa, Eleanor Hara. The complaint specifies Badoy Partosa's actions utilizing her government position to spread baseless and harmful accusations against the complainants. Case number 4, Ombudsman cases versus Lorraine Badoy. Again, this is in connection with their practice of spreading false information. Now, Mr. Chair, may I ask Lorraine Badoy, inakusahan po ninyo si former Vice President Leni Robredo, claiming that she has an alliance with communists. Meron po kayong ebidensya na nagpapatunay na si former Vice President Leni Robredo ay may alyansa sa komunista? Because you released this statement and accused her of conniving with communists. Because if you cannot prove or you cannot present evidence, then clearly this is a testimony that indeed Lauren Badoy and Ka Eric is spreading false information, which is a violation of Section 4. Kasagot po, Ma'am Badoy.
Mr. Chair, yung tungkol po sa former Vice President, yung statement po na yon ay hindi po yun personal na opinion ko. I said all those things as the Strategic Communications Cluster Head of the National Task Force, LCAC at the time, and that was in fact the official stand of our government. Therefore, meron po siyang tinatayuan na ebidensya. Hindi ko po yun personal na opinion.
Pero kayo po ang nag-disseminate ng information na yun.
Apo.
It could be the stand of the government, but kayo po ang nag-air ng akusasyon na yun na si Robredo ay may alyansa sa komunista. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because that was part of my
So
job.
in short po, ginamit po din yung plataforma ng SMNI to spread false information. Hindi po ba?
Mr. Chair,
Because according to you, hindi galing sa inyo eh. So did you verify the report?
Mr. Chair, that came from the National Task Force, LCAP, and that was our official stand. And the LCAP is made of all these agencies in government. And kaya po sinabi po yon, Mr. Chair, it was as my mandate bilang trabaho ko po na spokesperson na National Task Force, LCAP, na bago naglalabas ng ganyang statement, meron pong vetting process.
Okay, ma'am, meron po ba kayong dokumento to support this position of the National Task Force?
I can, Mr. Chair, I can produce it.
Okay,
Because
can you please submit that by tomorrow to the committee?
Yes, Mr.
And
Chair.
we would like to see the basis. This National Task Force, this is created by whom?
The National Task Force, LCAP, Mr. Chair, is the Executive Order number 70 that was created by then President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and it was continued by the sitting President, President Bongbong Marcos.
So it is still in existence, this National Task Force.
Yes, Mr. Chair, but I'm no longer part of it officially.
Thank you very much. The Honorable
Mr.
Mr. Chair, as I stated earlier, I would like to establish that SMNI is being used as a tool to spread false information. Ngayon, dito po tayo. SMNI aired an interview in its news channel wherein Ms. Badoy claimed that Ana Patricia Noon, who put up the Maguinhawa Communist Party, had also links to the communist movement. Totoo po ba ito, Ma'am Badoy?
Mr. Chair, again, that was in official stand po ulit yon ng National Task Force, LCAP. Hindi ko po yun personal na opinion. And I can, again, Mr. Chair, submit documents and proof regarding this.
Yes, as stated by the chair, pakisubmit din po dito kung totoo po ba talaga na yun ang stand ng government because kayo po ang spokesperson at that time.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
SMNI also violated numerous provisions of 2007 Broadcaster Code of the Philippines, specifically as regards to the credibility of news sources and reports. Ito po ang palaging problema ng SMNI. Mr. Chair, kagaya nung sinabi ninyo na that the Speaker spent 1.8 billion pesos in traveling expenses, pero during the last hearing, nung tinanong ko po si Ka Eric, eventually he admitted na mali pala ang source niya because we presented the documents and testimonies from the Secretary General and the head of the Finance Department, Bobby Maling, proving otherwise na walang katotohanan yung 1.8 billion pesos. So, Mr. Chair, clearly, as I've said, meron nung silang pattern. I mentioned already 4 cases ngayon. Sa KBP, meron din kaso ang SMNI. Now, may I ask the resource person, Ano ang nature ng kaso ng SMNI?
Mr. Chair. Yes. Mr. Chair. No, this question is addressed
To
to
KBP. I'm addressing my question, Mr. Chair, to KBP.
KBP,
Because,
the floor. So the
as
question,
I
Mr.
said
Chair.
earlier, dahil sa daming fake news, sa daming mga maling impormasyon na pinapalabas sa SMNI in their program, in other programs, eh marami yung silang kaso. You know ang ina-establish ko. Because of the false informations that you are disseminating, you are faced with several cases proving na marami kayong hinaras, marami kayong minalign, marami kayong sinira ng reputasyon using false information. Yun po ang gusto kong i-prove dito sa hearing, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Now,
Chair, my manifestation is related to the question, Mr. Chair.
No.
The
Mr.
very specific, it is the KBP.
Specific.
So, KBP is recognized.
Meron pong kaso sa KBP ang SMNI. Ano yung kasong yun?
Mr. Chair, the complaint was received only today.
Can you please speak closer to the microphone? Thank you.
The complaint from a certain Mr. Luis C. Raugo was received only today. In fact, I was informed of it only on my way to the hearing. The complaint involves violation of the broadcast code, particularly on airing of unverified reports. Personal attack intended to malign, unfair, criticize, or attack a person, natural or juridical. Speech or action likely to incite any person to violence or antisocial behavior. Vulgar, obscene, or indecent language. Use of vulgar, obscene, or indecent language. And then use of language tending to incite violence, sedition, or rebellion, and name calling of personal insults. May we inform, however, the Honorable Committee that Suarasug withdrew their membership from KBP, and we are informed only of this afternoon.
So, Mr. Chair, so yung complaint po ni Luis Goriaco, gatong din po, di po ba? Maling mga impormasyon and maligning the complainant. And yung request po niya is to revoke the license of Suarasug based on these unconfirmed reports, hindi po ba?
Medyo mas umano yung basura niya ngayon. Kumpara nung
The grounds being cited are the
minority
same.
leader siya.
Although the request is to determine accountability for the previous flagrant or unmistakable violations of the law and rules.
Mr. Chair.
There is also a prayer for cancellation of franchise.
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
so thank you from KBP. Again, ang nakasaad po doon, citing violations of Section 4, responsibility to the public, and prayer for the cancellation, revocation of SMNI license. Dito naman po tayo sa MTRCB. Alam ko po, meron din mong kaso ang SMNI dyan. Mr. Chair, may I ask the former Secretary, Cesar Parea, to expound or relate to us ano naman po ang nature ng kaso doon sa MTRCB ng SMNI.
Sige. Ang former secretary na
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
There was a case filed with us which we earlier resolved. This was earlier discussed during the last hearing about the airing of the episode on October 10 of Gikan sa Masa, Para sa Masa, where death threats were allegedly aired against the Honorable Castro. And this has been resolved. We have called the parties into hearing, and they promised to not to repeat the same, and in fact even admitted that they will be they have decided to pre-record succeeding episodes so that they can avoid having this matter on air. And this was resolved on November 9. And we have a resolution that we furnish this committee. Now, we were informed last time that despite this decision, the entity again broadcast another episode with the same content. So they violated what we have agreed upon, and we have called them to appear before the MTRCB. We gave a notice to them to appear on December 7, this Thursday, to look into this matter.
So to clarify, Mr. Chair, ibig niyong sabihin, Secretary Attorney Pareha, na may resolution na yung complaint. Anong resolution ninyo? They were reprimanded, they were warned, anong resolution na kalagay doon?
They were given a warning that repeat of the similar infraction will be dealt with more severely.
Nakikita po natin, Mr. Chair, pinagsabihan na ng SMNI na huwag gamitin yung pinagsabihan ng SWARA SUG o SMNI na huwag nang gamitin yung TV network nila sa pagmamalay, pangharas ng mga tao. And in fact, galing sa testimonya ni Atty. Pareha, pinagpawalan ni sila. But in spite of that, ginawa pa rin nila. So that means, Mr. Chair, very clear na po yun na-establish natin na talagang they are in violation of Section 4. Hindi na ho Kongreso ang nagsasabi sa kanila na tigilan nila yung pag-atake. MTRCB na po. So that is a different entity from Congress. So ibig sabihin talagang palagi silang may mga kalokohan na ginagawa against individuals and entities. So I hope, Atty. Pareha, that you, as you have said, hindi naman sinunod yung warning ninyo, so they will be dealt with severely. And I hope that you will give them sanctions para naman mabigyan sila ng ng lesson na they should follow what is stated Section 4, responsibility to the public, interest of the public. So, establish na po natin, 5 na ho yung kaso, ang 6 na ho yung MTRCB. Mayroon pa bang isa?
We're still, we have already notified them, also gave them a notice to appear regarding the episode on the fake news on the speaker's travel. And also on the same day, they will be hearing this on Thursday also.
So Mr. Chair, establish natin 7 na yung kaso na hinaharap ng SMNI with different organizations. Doon po tayo sa National Telecommunications Commission. I understand na meron din yung kaso ang SMNI ho dyan.
NTC, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As far as the NTC is concerned, SWARA SUG also has a pending administrative case. This is under, as mentioned earlier, 2022-027, and also this complaint centers on content aired over the station, specifically involving the former Vice President. So the NTC has nag-hear na po kami on this case. The respondents have already been nag-appeal na po sila. They have submitted also the corresponding answers. And NTC is for decision na po yung case na yun, but it's still pending for decision by the Commission.
So at the moment, there are 2 cases lodged at NTC. So ngayon pa lang, Mr. Chair, we have not done a full research, pero makikita po natin siyam na po ang kaso ng SMNI against with regards to Section 4, this is responsibility to the public. So Mr. Chair, nakikita po talaga natin, SMNI is not a responsible network. Whereas ang ibang mga TV stations or TV networks na humahawak po ng prangkisa, they are there to entertain the Filipino people. They are there to disseminate important information, especially in times of calamities or news article for the betterment, improvement of the Filipino people. In short, as a medium to disseminate information to the Filipino people. But in this case, nakikita po talaga natin, SMNI is not doing that, but rather, SMNI is being used as a platform to malign, to destroy, sisiraan ang isang tao, isang entity, which is, as I've said, Mr. Chair, a clear violation of Section 4, responsibility to the public. So yun po, Mr. Chair, I hope na nakikita po ng committee itong mga kasalanan ng SMNI, itong mga infractions nila. It is within our power to approve, to amend, or to revoke, or to repeal any franchise holder na nakikita natin who is not in compliance with the provisions in their franchise, in this case, Republic Act 11422. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Johnny Reciter of the 2nd District of Davao del Sur. Actually, go del Sur, I'm sorry. Mr. Chair, I stand corrected. Yes, Attorney Tuliti.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to manifest that with respect to the SMNI membership with KBP, we already withdrew last December 4, 2023. So the case pending with KBP is already moot and academic. And second, Mr. Chair,
Wait, so December 4,
2023, Mr. Chair.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
May pagano-gano ka.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So,
When it happened.
Parang last year. Parang tagal niya.
I understand why you had to withdraw. We're talking about the scope.
Because, Mr. Chair, we believe that the membership of KBP is not mandatory. And in fact,
So if it was not mandatory, why did you join in the first place?
we join is an option on our part, Mr. Chair.
Precisely. So,
Yes.
but you joined.
So we have the option to be a
Correct.
member. We also have the
Yes.
option not to be a member.
Anyway, we will not anymore
And second,
belabor that
Mr.
point. Ay, huwag na mo tayo pumunta ko doon. Basta klaro ko tayo kahapon lang, pagkatapos ng first hearing, ay nag-withdraw po kayo.
Yes,
Kasi
Mr. Chair.
klaro lang po yun.
Mr. Chair, I
Mr.
would
Chair.
like to comment on sinabi ni Atty. Tolentino. Nag-withdraw sila sa KBP. Bakit? Dahil hindi nga nila masunod yung broadcast code of the Philippines. That is precisely, they withdrew their membership. Because they could not abide by the broadcast code. Hindi nila magawa Section 3, fairness and objectivity. Hindi nila magawa ang Section 5, unconfirmed reports. Hindi nila magawa Article 4, personal attacks. Pati yung mga on-air language. That is why nga this bolsters my accusation, my allegations na hindi sila karapat-dapat bigyan ng prangkisa or bawiin ng prangkisa. The fact that they withdrew from KBP just underscores the need for the revocation of their license. Kaya kayo nag-withdraw, Atty. Tolentino, Mr. Chair, hindi nyo masunod yung code ng broadcasters of the Philippines. Hindi po ba? Hindi ko natatanungin yan. Very clear na po yun.
Thank you very much,
Mr. Chair.
Your Honor, for Pimentel. We now proceed.
Mr. Chair, we want to respect to the...
Morgan, klaro na po tayo, nag-withdraw kayo. At mamaya ko, tatawagin ko po kayo. Marami po mga membro magtatanong. Please to serve your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The Honorable Toby Champ of the Botas is recognized. Silence requested.
Yes, magandang hapon po, Mr. Chair, at magandang hapon po sa ating mga resource persons. Sayang po, bigyan natin ng pagkakataon si Ka Eric na magpaliwanag at hindi niyang magpaliwanag. No? Anyway, since si Dr. Bagoy po ang focus, Mr. Chair, if I may ask Dr. Bagoy, nung ang napanood ko kasi yung last hearing, ang sabi niyo, Ang sabi niyo po, tinatanong niyo kung totoo na ang gastos ay 1.4 billion. Hindi, tama po. 1.8 billion. Hindi. Tama po ba? It was in the form of question and it was not a statement. Yun po ang sabi nung last hearing. Tama po ba yun, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, tama po yun. Correct. It was posed as a question.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Dr. Badoy, yes.
I have with me the USB. Am I allowed to play this, Mr. Chair?
Attorney Tolentino,
I think
Yes.
the right time.
Kung yun po ay tanong, sino po ang tinatanong nila, Mr. Chair? Who was the question addressed to, Mr. Chair?
The other, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, may I answer?
Yes, please.
So, as I recall po, Mr. Chair, the question was being posed to Congress and also I think COA. It was Eric that asked that question and then we seconded him.
Okay, kung tinatanong niyo po ang Congress, sino po ang tinawagan niyo sa Kongreso at sino po ang kausap niyo sa Kongreso para tanungin? O sino po ang kausap niyo o tinawagan niyo sa COA para tanungin?
Mr. Chair,
Please reply.
yeah. Mr. Chair, wala po kami tinanong kasi parang we were called not to this hearing. Did I answer your question?
Sorry. Mr. Chair, ang ibig ko pong sabihin, di ba nagpo-programa sila ng araw na yon? Ang sabi nila, tinatanong nila. Di ba normal po pag ang isang media entity nagtatanong, Mr. Chair, tatawagan po nila yung tatanungin nila, di ba po? Para makasagot naman yung tatanungin nila. So ang tanong ko po, during the program, sino po ang tinawagan ng SMNI from Congress para masagot yung tanong nila? Yun po ang tanong ko, Mr. Chair.
Please reply.
Mr. Chair, if I can backtrack a little bit, parang nakita niya sa GAA yung 2-point-something billion for the travel expenses. Tapos parang may nag-text sa kanya. Pero to answer your question, after that program, we didn't ask anybody, Mr. Chair.
Hindi po, Mr. Chair. Maliwanag po yung tanong ko, Mr. Chair. Kasi sabi nila, sila yung nagtatanong at hindi nila sinasabi. Ulitin ko po, tayo, na-interview po tayo, nanonood tayo ng TV. Pag meron tayong tinatanong, meron tayong kausap. Mahirap naman po magtanong na wala kang kausap, Mr. Chair. Sino po sasagot ng tanong kung wala kang kausap? So sino po ang tinatanong nyo para ma-confirm o masabi yung katotohanan tungkol po doon sa 1.8 billion during the program? Meron po ba kayong tinatanong na tao o wala?
Mr. Chair, yung specific na tao, ang pagkakaintindi ko sa pag-phrase ni Eric ay it was a general question that was addressed to Congress or I think maybe just Congress. But may I also say that lagi namang bukas ang SMNI sa mga tanong kung sino man pwede yun. We always issue an open invitation, Mr. Chair.
Mahirap po yan. It's very unprofessional, Mr. Chair. Members of Congress are being interviewed. Tatawagan kayo. Mahirap naman yung sinabing tinanong, hoy, sumagot kayo dito. Hindi ba kung nagtatanong kami, kausap ka, Mr. Chair, hindi pa pwedeng nagtatanong ka na wala kang kausap. Sino sasagot sa iyo? So the fact na wala silang kausap, it means it was not a question to be answered. Ibig sabihin, they posed it as a question, Mr. Chair, na hindi tayo makakasagot. So, ginamit lang nila yung question na yung salitang tanong para protektado sila ng konti at hindi sinabing nag-aakusa sila. Pero sa totoo lang, Mr. Chair, wala silang intensyon na makasagot. Kasi paano ka na masasagot kung hindi ka tinawagan? Di ba? Ito po, siguro sinasabi nyo, gusto nyo ang katotohanan. Paano nyo makukuha yung katotohanan, Mr. Chair, kung wala naman po kayong kausap?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I'm answering for Erika, but I'll just really do my best. Kasi parang yung naging impression, siguro yung frustration after the extraordinary funds, the confidential funds, yung usapan na ganyan, na parang ang lumalabas na kwento ay hindi open ang Kongreso sa inquiry. So, parang ganun yata yung pinanggagalingan. But I'm not saying that that's what I believe in, ha? I'm just saying that that was where it was coming from. But it was a very sincere question. Yun po yun. Pero I get your point, Mr. Chair, and we will take cognizance of that.
Di ba po, Mr. Chair, Dr. Badoy, if you want an intelligent conversation, dapat naman may resource person kayo, di ba po? Dapat naman bigyan nyo ng pagkakataon at sumagot yung mga, kahit di ba, may nabasa kayo sa tabloid, babasahin yun. O pwede bang tawagan natin si ganito para madinig naman ang sagot. Pero kung wala pong ganun, mukhang hindi po totoo yung sinasabi na it was a question. It was raised, hindi ko nakita, as a question just so that hindi pa pwedeng sabihin na nag-outside. But again, it supports the manifestation of the honorable Pinitel na mukhang talaga ito'y ginagamit para manira. No? Kasi kung, yes, sorry.
Mr. Chair, siguro, kasi it was just out of the blue, Mr. Chair, where Eric said, something came up, parang may nagtatanong dito, ganun. So, hindi kami nahanda, Mr. Chair, na meron kaming nalilitahan. Pero, siguro like 90% of the time, meron kaming resource person, meron kaming tinatawagan. That was part of our yung production process namin, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Pero kung yung ganung bagay, hindi naman siya urgent, hindi naman siya sunog, hindi naman siya lindol, hindi naman siya kalamidad, pwede naman makita yung mga bagay na yun kung talagang gusto nila ng fairness, di ba pwede i-verify. Paano yung katulad yan? Alaman nila later on, nag-apologize sila na mali pala, na-oriente pala sila doon sa news nila. Di ba? Hindi ba mas mabuti kung hindi naman emergency, bigyan niyo muna ng pagkakataon yung kabila. I mean, in all these cases, kasi mukhang hindi niyo binigyan ng pagkakataon yung kabila na sumagot.
Mr. Chair, may I
Yes,
respond? May I respond, Mr. Chair, to what you said sa lahat ng mga kasong ito? Mr. Chair, ang naging, sa my personal answer, Mr. Chair, ang naging buhay ko nung sumali ako sa gobyerno, my short stint in government, ay talagang tapusin ang CPP, NPA, NDF. At pag tinapos mo kasi yan, pag yan ang kinalaban mo, yayakapin mo lahat. Yayakapin mo ang mga kaso, yayakapin mo ang kasinungalingan, ang pangwawasak ng puri talaga, yayakapin mo yan. So, yung mga sinasabi ng mga kaso, sir, sa totoo lang, Mr. Chair, mas marami pa dyan. Mas marami pa dyan. But napakaganda, nakikita ko ang ating gobyerno, wala namang nag-a-agree sa mga, yung allegation is not true. So, Mr. Chair, tsaka napakaganda that I've worked with some members in Congress, no, na nakita nila na napakahalaga nung na talagang tinatanggalan ng maskara ang mga mapanlinlang na CPP, NPA, NDF na nasa lahat ng sektor ng ating lipunan. And I know that I stand. Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ganito, Mr. Chair. With regards to the CPP, NDF, NPA, magkaisa po tayo. Walang tanong. All out tayo dyan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All out tayo dyan. In fact, I was the one who defended the budget
Yes.
of the OP, and one of the
Yes.
questions was the
I remember,
NDF.
Mr. Chair. Yes, I remember.
So wala tayong pagtatalo dyan.
Yes.
Ang sinasabi lang natin is, yun ulit, hindi logical na gusto mo magtanong at gusto mo na may sagot na wala ka namang kausap. I mean, that is logic. Hindi na kailangan ditong pagtalunan niya. Wala naman logical na magtatanong ka sa hangin, gusto mo may sasagot sa iyo. So, doon sa parte na yun, sa tingin ko talagang may pagkakamali. Okay. Ngayon, pupunta po ako sa lawyers ng SMNI. Nasabi niyo rin po doon sa huling hearing niyo na lahat po ng programa niyo ay may disclaimer. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. What is the logic of having a disclaimer for all your programs? Ano po ang lohika nun? May prangkisa kayo, may mga alituntunin yung prangkisa ninyo, meron kayong dapat sundin ng mga alituntunin na dapat fair ang reporting, balansyado, hindi kayo naninira puri. Tapos sasabihin nyo dun sa mga talents ninyo, bahala kayo kung anong gagawin nyo. Wala kami kinalaman dyan. Paano nyo masisigurado na mas susunod nyo yung alituntunin yung inyong prangkisa kung sinasabi ninyo, bahala kayo sa gagawin ninyo?
It doesn't mean that bahala, Mr. Chair. What we mean that we give full, what do you call this? We recognize and respect the freedom of press, freedom of opinion of all our talents, Mr. Chair. And second, Mr. Chair, with respect to the disclaimer, it is a open secret practice to all media practitioners, all media establishments about disclaimer, Mr. Chair. Not only SMNI, Mr. Chair.
Okay, if it's an open practice for all media practitioners, Mr. Chair, what do you have a body within your organization, within SMNI, that monitors and ensures na yung mga anchors ninyo at yung mga talents po nila ay sumusunod sa fair and balanced reporting?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have.
Ano po yung tawag nito?
We have a grievance committee, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sino po ang mga membro ng grievance committee?
We have the executive producer.
Okay.
We have the associate producer.
Okay.
Researcher. What do you call this?
Sandali.
Hindi po, paano magiging membro ng grievance committee?
Sandali po, yung grievance committee nyo, parang may mali. Kasi, ang executive producer ng bawat programa, iba-iba.
Yes,
Ang associate producer, iba-iba.
Yes,
So therefore, yung grievance committee nyo, walang permanenteng, mga opisyalis. Dahil iba-iba ko yan. Every program has its own set of producers.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have producers every program.
So, how can you expect people to police their own ranks? It's not producer, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
How can they rule in favor or not in favor of anything? It's not producer. I think is this a truthful statement that you have a grievance committee per show?
We have a grievance committee of the entire organization.
Yes, but you know, you just
We have
mentioned
also a producer per program, Mr. Chair.
correct, and you said that those are the officers.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So therefore, your per show is a different person. How do you expect that person to, paano siya mag-rule na mali yung ginawa ng anchor, ako yung producer nun eh. Hindi parang pinagalitan ko rin ang sarili ko.
Mr. Chair.
Attorney, medyo ano po yan. Anyway, the Honorable Jack.
No, Mr. Chair, you can
Tay
po yung pupuntahan ko. Paano mo naman sasabihin na ako nag-produce, mali yung anchor ko? Paano mangyayari yun, Mr. Chair?
So anyway, I don't think that really is the composition also of the grievance committee. But anyway, that's what they manifested. So we will have to check that out.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. I don't think there's no logic in having these officials or these officers of a program part of the grievance committee where they're supposed to be the people that very violated the law that we're supposed to be grieving about. But
Mr. Chair,
anyway,
point of
Honorable
clarification on
Yes,
this
yes,
point ni Congressman
Yes.
Soli. Last hearing, Ka Eric mentioned that he received a text message on Monday and he was meant to meet his source on Wednesday. So Monday pa lang, hindi pa verified yung report, hindi niya pa nakikita yung dokumento, ni-report mo na. Maski na alam mo, magkikita kayo ng source mo ng Wednesday kung kailan niya ipapakita yung dokumento. Which means, wala talaga silang basehan at wala silang hawak-hawak na dokumento, di umano, yung dalawang text messages lang, Kong Toby, yung pinagbasihan nila ng report. Yun yung sinasabi nila doon nung nakarang hearing.
Mr. Chair, may I explain, Mr. Chair?
Okay.
Yung pagkakaintindi ko dito, Mr. Chair, yung source ni Ka Eric, long-standing na relationship yan, dekada, kasi kasama niya yan sa CPP, NPA, NDF. So parang meron na silang sariling palakad na they really trust each other already. So, hindi siya yung parang nanggaling lang dito. Kung you get what I'm saying, Mr. Chair, parang matagal na silang magkakakilala. And, at maraming beses, siguro hindi lang siguro, sure ako dito, na yung batting average ng kanyang source ay mataas. No?
Yes, just a final manifestation. In granting the franchise and in accepting the franchise holder accepts the conditions and the responsibilities of the franchise. So, hindi ko maintindihan bakit hindi niyo papangalagaan at sisiguraduhin na yung mga talents ninyo ay susunod dun sa alituntunin ng franchise. Prangkisa niyo yun eh. Pinaghirapan niyo yung prangkisa, dumaan kayo sa proseso, tapos papabayaan niyo lang. Paano kung may personal na interest yung mga talents ninyo, hindi naman matatanggal yan. Why are you not policing your ranks to ensure na fair and balanced ang reporting ng inyong tangkisa? So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Toby Jampo,
Mr. Chair, just one point before we leave this.
of the Botas. Yes, the Honorable Suarez.
Following yung KBP guidelines and regulations, which used to be a part of, dapat sasabihin nyo doon that this figure is unverified and this figure has not been checked whether truthful or not. Any of those items, di po nila binanggit dun sa telecast. I just want to point that out, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much,
Mr. Chair,
Honorable.
may I make a follow-up?
Yes.
Mr.
Just
Chair.
one. Just one. Dr. Badoy, are you aware kung may pinadalabang screenshot to Viber o any image yung source ni Ka Eric kaya tumuloy siya doon? Or it was just a simple text message?
Mr. Chair, I'm not aware of, hindi ko po masagot yan, Mr. Chair.
Thank you
I'm
very
sorry.
much. Okay, the Chair would like, before we continue, yeah,
In relation to the,
Honorable Ako.
yes, Madam Badoy, did I hear you correct that you also vouch for the truthfulness of the report of the high batting average of the source of Mr. Shelley? You stated that a
Yes,
while
Mr.
ago
Chair.
in answer to the query of the Honorable Chanco. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And if you're aware of this, would you know the personality or the name of this person?
No, Mr.
Kasi you're
Chair.
voting for his or her high batting average,
Mr. Chair, may I?
and you do not know his name?
May I respond?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. Chair, what I meant by that, hindi ko po siya kilala, Mr. Chair. Pero kasi si Ka Eric po ay isang haligi ng National Task Force LCAP sa mga pinaglalahad niya tungkol sa CPP, NPA, NDF bilang dating mataas na ranggong kasapi nito. Yung katotohanan na binigay niya sa NTF LCAP ay napakahalaga kung kaya alam namin na yung mga sources ni Ka Eric ay what's the Tagalog? Very reliable, Mr. Chair. And they usually corroborated by other former rebels. But Mr. Chair, I do get your point. I do get your point.
Mr. Chair, alam nyo, sinabi nyo rin sa sagot ninyo kay Honorable Tiangco, na alam ninyo na membro ito ng CBP, NPA, NDF. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, dati, matagal na sir.
Paano nyo po alam? Kasi para bang yung mga sagot nyo kanina kay Honorable Chanco, alam at kilala nyo yung tao ito. But when you are asked a question, in so far as the identity of that person is concerned, hindi po nyo masagot. Ngayon, tinatanong ko, membro ba ng CBP, NPA, NDF? Kayo po nagsabi nun. Ngayon, ang tanong ko, tinatanong ko kung alam niyo, sabi mo, dati. Kasi, para bang umiiwas po kayo dun sa katanungan eh. Kung dati po siyang membro ng CPP, NPA, NDF, paano nyo alam na umalis siya o tumiwalag siya ron?
Pwede pong sumagot, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Lorraine.
So after po nung committee meeting dito, sa totoo lang pinilit ko si Eric. Eric, sino ba yan? Ganyan. I wanted to also, pwede ba, sabihin mo, ganun, para tapos na ito, ganun. But he stood fast on his decision. So kung kaya't yun ang isiniwalat niya. And that's all I know about it, Mr. Chair.
From your answer, Madam Berot, Baloy, hindi mo kakilala yung taong yun. Hindi mo rin alam kung siya ay umalis na sa CBP, NPA. I'm asking this question dahil dun sa sagot ni Mr. Celis na siya ay empleyado ng Senado. Mas takot ako dun. Kasi meron pala sa amin, hindi ko alam, nakasama sa CBP, NPA, NDF.
Mr. Chair, pwede sumagot.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, sa order of battle ng CPP, NPA, LDF, siguro si Eric nasa number 1. Yan ang unang papatayin ng CPP, NPA, LDF sa dami ng sinabi niya tungkol sa CPP, NPA, LDF. So
you
hindi
do
po
not
siya...
have to teach me that.
Mr.
I've
Chair,
been with the military and the police, and I know that. Kaya wag mo na akong lecturean dyan. Ang tinatanong ko po sa inyo ay tungkol dun sa sa pagsasagot po ninyo sa katanungan ni Honorable Tiangco. Kilala ninyo yung tao sa sagot ninyo eh. But when you are asked questions about the identity of that person, umiiwas po kayo. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair, ang aking observation.
Thank you very much. The Honorable
Mr. Chair.
Amo, a very
Mr.
respected,
Chair.
a very respected police general. Kaya magaling ko mag-imbestiga to. Lahat ng sinungaling nakausap na po nito.
Mr. Chair, pwede.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the next interpolator. The Honorable Grabe is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Para makahinga muna tayo ng konti dahil medyo hindi masyadong sinasagot yung mga tanong natin. If it's okay with the committee, we go through some violations na lang sa prangkisa na lang.
Which particular section are you referring to?
I will ask questions and mostly sections 10 and 11, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed. The Honorable Grabe.
To SMNI, I guess, Attorney Martin,
Yes, I can answer.
In 2005, Kingdom of Jesus GIS states that Pastor Tuloy is the chairman and registered as a non-stock corporation, correct?
I have with me the history of SMNI.
I am just asking a yes or no question.
About what, Mr. Chair?
The question, can you please rephrase the question?
In 2005,
Yes or no na po
Kingdom of Jesus, in your the GIS states that Pastor Kibuloy is the chairman and the corporation is registered as a non-stock corporation, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Then, Mr. Chair, sometime you became a sole corporation, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
When did you become a sole corporation?
Okay. In 1990, we're talking of Suarasu Media Corporation or the executive Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
So,
Well, at first, like I said earlier, 2005, it was Kingdom of Jesus, right? And it was a non-stop. And then,
in 2006, we amended
yes.
the Kingdom of Jesus Christ to the executive pastor of Kingdom of Jesus Christ by amending Article 1 and converting corporation to corporation sole, Mr. Chair.
So, 2006, you became a corporation sole.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And during this time, who is the executive pastor of that corporation sole?
Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, Mr. Chair.
As an executive pastor in this corporation sole, by definition of the corporation sole, he administers, manages as the trustee, properties of the corporation, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
As the trustee, Pastor Kibuloy had the power to manage the assets of the corporation, meaning he may buy, sell, encumber, lease properties, etc. for the corporation, right?
But still in compliance with...
Yes or no lang po, Mr. Chair?
Attorney, klaro naman po ang it's answered first, yes or no, and if you would like to explain, you can expound.
Yes, Mr. Chair, but can I explain,
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Yes, of course, but there is a procedure. Not just the pastor will decide. There is a body in respect to the process of changing or with respect to the decision of the church.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
The answer is
Proceed.
yes. Siya pa rin ang...
Yes, pardon, sir.
Kahit may procedure,
Yes,
siya pa
please.
rin. Okay.
Please.
So does he have the power to sell, manage, buy properties for beneficiaries?
With respect to what year, Mr. Chair?
with his power as the trustee, as the
In what year,
executive
Mr.
pastor.
Chair? Because the executive pastor was already transferred to Marlon Jacobo, Mr. Chair, in 2020. That's why I'm asking, what year, Mr. Chair?
Before the transfer. Sige.
Before the transfer, yes, Mr. Chair.
So you're saying Pastor Tibuloy, before that transfer, has control over the interest, over the properties of the corporation, thus controlling interest, right?
He is the trustee, Mr. Chair, so subject to
So
the
may controlling
procedure, Mr.
interest
Chair.
po ba, Mr. Chair, dahil siya yung nagmamanage at lahat?
Klaro lang po natin sagot. Yes or no?
Yes, Mr. Chair, with respect to the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
Yes, okay. So you mentioned that there was a transfer of the executive pastor.
Yes, in 2020, Mr. Chair.
2020?
Yes.
Are you sure?
The year 2020.
May amended
Yes, there's an amendment.
articles
Yes,
here.
Mr. Chair.
2020 may nakasulat dyan or 2022? Ang amended AOI, no? It says, I also have the document. And
Mitch,
the committee has the
Kong Mitch, can you please ascertain the date? 20 or is it really 2020?
I think the committee has the AOI, Mr. Chair,
Yes,
of
okay.
the amended AOI.
Can you please reply? Attorney?
Repeat the question, Mr. Chair.
Is it 20 or 2022?
2022 applied, but approved in 2023.
If
2020.
you have a copy of
Can you please
the,
repeat?
you have a,
Approved,
Mr.
applied
Chair.
in 2022, approved in 2023.
So hindi 2020?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Chair, if I can just direct to the committee na lang, if you have the consent. Yes, can you please read na lang, you can read, Mr. Chair, the amended articles of incorporation on when the date it was adopted.
Who are you directing this to? The Comsec?
To,
Attorney?
I will be here, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
yes, can you please, Mr. Chair?
Adopted on December 19, 2022.
So 2022, okay. And attached there, is a transfer, a certificate of appointment.
Yes, Mr.
That's
Chair.
that's the basis, Mr. Chair, for the transfer of the new trustee.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So,
December 19, 2022. Signed by Pastor Apollo P. Boloy, appointing Brother Marlon P. Acobo.
so now it's Brother Marlon Apobo who has the same powers previously of Pastor Pipuloy of
Yes,
the
by
controlling
succession.
interest.
Yes, by succession, Mr. Chair.
Let me direct you to section 10 of your franchise. The grantee shall not sell, lease, transfer, grant the usufruct of, nor assign this franchise or the rights and privileges acquired thereon either to any person, firm, company, corporation, or other commercial or legal entity, nor merge with any other corporation or entity, nor shall transfer the controlling interest of the grantee simultaneously or contemporaneously to any other person, firm, company, corporation, or entity without the prior approval of the Congress of the Philippines. Are you aware of this provision?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Did you get the prior approval of Congress for this shift of controlling interest in 2022?
No.
Mr. Chair.
So,
Mr. Chair, may I be allowed to answer that?
okay, active, the Honorable Rolex.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, section 10 give us 3 instances. The first one is not sell, not lease, not transfer, not grant. The use of, not assign this franchise. That's the first instance. Second instance is nor merge. Third instance is
Not transfer controlling interest.
not transfer
without
controlling
grant.
interest.
Yes.
That's the third instance.
Yes.
Okay, and all of this requires the prior approval of Congress.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes, my
so
question, Mr. Chair,
So,
is.
that is decided. Question,
My
was it done?
question is,
Attorney
was
Rolex,
there
hold the
prior
questions.
approval?
Would you want to answer that, Attorney Rolex?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Was
It's a
there
yes or
prior
no, it's
approval?
a yes or no question.
We have not
Mr. Chair.
sold the franchise.
I'm sorry.
It's a yes or no question if you
No,
got
there
the
is-
prior
yeah,
Ask the lady to
approval.
repeat the question.
No, attorney. The question was there, did you seek prior approval before you did all of this?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
there are 3 instances here.
That's why.
So,
We have not sold
sige,
the franchise.
Mr. Chair,
No,
para lang.
that's it.
That's the first instance, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Wait. Attorney Rolex, marunong natin, meron kong tatlong instances. Each are independent of each other. Question, there was a change in controlling interest, which also requires you to seek the approval of Congress.
Prior to the change.
Did you do it, yes or no?
Mr. Chairman,
can I?
No,
Mr. Chair, can I ask
Mr. Chair, yes or no lang po.
Attorney Tolentino, binigay nyo Attorney Supreme, kukunin nyo ulit. Hindi nyo masagot kanina eh.
I can answer that, Mr. Chair.
okay, I guess
Yes or
to my
no?
colleague, Mr.
By
Chairman.
yes or no, attorney?
Yes,
Okay.
There was no there is no transfer of controlling interest, Mr. Chair.
I acknowledge it. I'm sorry. Honorable, kasi,
Mr. Chair.
confused na ako eh.
I'm sorry.
Hindi ko alam kung sino ang lead counsel sa kanilang dalawa. No? Para alam natin kung sino
The
talaga ang
senior,
dapat
Mr. Chair.
sumunod.
He's the senior lawyer.
Okay.
He's the junior lawyer.
Mr. Chairman, point to my colleague.
Okay.
Point of
Wait.
information.
Okay, the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
I think the question right now is whether
There was a prior
there was a prior approval.
Yes.
Siguro kung ayaw po nila sagutin, alam naman po natin sa Kongreso if they got a prior approval. We can ask the Committee on COMSEC for us to be clarified on this matter. Dahil basically, alam po natin kung nag-secure po sila ng tinatawag nilang specific mode of reporting. Kasi basically, iba itong reporting na dapat ng gawin.
Salamat Congressman Dan. Pinibigyan po natin ang chance sila dahil ang question mo na remains ni Convicts is sa dalawa. Okay, Attorney Tolentino, ipinasa kay Attorney Rolex, na pinapasa ulit kay Attorney Tolentino. Okay?
The provision under the law, Mr. Chair, Section 10 of the franchise says, nor shall transfer the controlling interest of the grantee. In this case, Mr. Chair, there was no transfer of the controlling interest because the owner is still the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
Mr. Chair, didn't he explain earlier that it was first, it was Pastor Kibuloy who had the controlling interest. Then there was a change in 2022.
It was by succession, Mr. Chair, because Pastor Kibuloy technically retires. He's already 73 years old.
I'm not asking about his retirement, Mr. Chair. It's the transfer of the controlling interest.
Tanong lang po, paalam po ba kayo hindi? Ilan ako sa tatanong ni Kong Mix.
Mr. Chair, kung hindi na po lang sasagutin, si Comsec na lang po.
I think the Comsec will answer.
Per records, Comsec says, hindi mo masagot nung Attorney Tolentino, hindi mo masagot ng lead ko. Attorney Rolex,
So we can answer, Mr. Chairman. We have submitted our annual reports to Congress, and it's contained there.
Did you ask for prior approval?
Prior approval,
No,
Mr. Chairman, it's
it's
information.
Mr. Chair.
Please read the second sentence, Mr. Chairman, after that.
Mr.
Second
Chair.
sentence says,
Mr. Chair.
Congress shall be informed.
So ano po sagot nyo? Yes, nagpaalam kayo.
We informed Congress.
But did you ask permission?
No, we not. We
Thank
informed
you very
Congress.
much. That's clear. Thank you very much. Okay, Comsec, do you agree with the position that they never asked Congress? They only informed Congress?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As far as the committee and secretariat record is concerned, there was no prior, they did not seek for a prior approval of any transfer of their franchise.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, it's our position that what we're talking here is not controlling interest. Unless we have a definition of what controlling interest is. By long line of cases, controlling interest is more than 50%.
Okay. Thank you very much, the Honorable Noglanes de la
Thank you,
floor.
Mr. Chair.
Silence is requested.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, may I remind this committee that I think we heard that Attorney Mark Tolentino said that Pastor Kibuloy had controlling interest and was transferred in 2022 to Brother Marlon. Acobo. And again, if we look at section 10, on the first sentence, it still needs the prior approval. Yung sinasabi po earlier na may information, second sentence, hindi pa po tayo nasa second sentence, nasa first sentence pa lang ako, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
You still have the floor, the Honorable
Yes.
Grabe.
So we
Silence
established
first,
that
patapusin mo
wala
lang kasi
pong prior approval, Mr.
Wala.
Chair.
Sinabi na.
Okay. So the next sentence naman sa section 10
can I make
is...
any comment, Mr. Chair?
No, you're not. Please
Mr. Chair.
make the Honorable Nograles finish, and I will acknowledge you again.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Chair.
The Honorable ako.
May I remind Attorney Tolentino, nakita mo ba kami, tahimik kami nakikinig dito? Di po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Makinig ka rin muna bago ka mag-raise ng hand.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, the Honorable ako. The Honorable Nograles.
So now let's go to the second sentence in which Attorney Suplico was saying that you informed. Did you inform of this change? Mr. Chair.
Yeah, the Honorable Tolentino. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to explain, Mr. Chair. The kingdom of Jesus Christ is not just an ordinary profession.
No. Can you please, alam po ninyo, can you just please explain muna, yes or no, then explain your position?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
What? Yes, what? What?
That there is no prior approval.
Yes, but my next question, Mr. Chair, tapos na po
What's your
na-
question?
my
No, there's a new
was-
question.
The second sentence naman that they should report a change also in controlling interest. It's in the second sentence of section 10.
Okay, the Honorable, Sir Attorney Tolentino, yan, kasi tanong po kayo.
Mr. Chair,
report po kayo.
Yes or no lang po, Mr. Chair.
The good Congresswoman says, Mr. Chair, about controlling interest. That's why I may be allowed to explain to the Honorable Committee, Mr. Chair, what is the controlling interest in relation to corporation sole. Because it is different to say controlling interest with respect to an ordinary corporation compared to a corporation sole, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, can you just reply first, yes or no to the question? First, tapos siya kung yung paliwanag kung anong kaibahan ng dalawa. The question raised by the Honorable Nograles, did you report?
Yes, Mr.
The
Chair.
change. To whom?
We do it annual
May we ask
reporting to
Consec
the...
if there's a report,
Consec, did they report?
any change in the controlling interest?
Is there any change in the controlling interest?
Mr. Chair, if we could ask Consec kung meron.
So as far as the records of the committee secretary is concerned, there was no reporting as to change of ownership.
And just remind again, narinig po naman natin lahat sa committee, di ba? Sinabi naman po ni Attorney Mark na Pastor did have the control over the assets na pinasa. Wala silang prior approval, which is a violation of the first section of, first sentence of section 10, and wala ring report. So it's a violation of the second sentence also of section 10. Correct.
As per the Consec, yes, you are correct. Okay.
With all due respect, Mr. Chair, I explain my answer.
But, can we go with the line of questioning?
May I finish my question?
Please explain.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Yes.
Can we please remind the good Attorney Mark? I think the chair has been very lenient, and I think Congressman Acop has called your attention many times. Your light has been on throughout the whole hearing. So please give enough courtesy to the congressmen to give their statements, and huwag kayong mag-alala. Bibigyan namin kayo ng pagkakataon, but please huwag kayong babatin habang nagsasalita at habang kinikilala yung oras ng isang kinatawan. May panahon din naman kayo at nakita niyo naman. Siguro kung bibilangin natin sa ratio proportion, mas marami pa kayong oras sa pagsasalita kaysa sa mga congressman. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Magsasalita din kayo. Pagsalita niyo muna yung mga congressman.
Yes.
Take up on this, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Attorney Tolentino. The Honorable Nograles has the floor. please do not cut in or you just have to answer the question and we'll leave it at that for the moment. If you would like to explain later, then we will give you the chance before we end this hearing. The Honorable Nograles has the floor. Silence is requested.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have, if I can show to the committee a pie chart of the structure of Suara Soup. Yes.
Okay. So please, there's a video.
Yeah.
There's a... Oh, no, no. Slide. Yeah.
2023, please.
2023.
The next.
That's right.
So it's